Hello everyone. So we are now in Unit 2 and we are still in Module 1 Introduction to Food and Beverage Services. So we are now again in Unit 2. We will talk about preparing the environment for food and beverage services. So this is our objectives for this unit. So you should be able to observe the necessary steps and checks in preparing for the upcoming service session. You will be able to identify yourself with the types of menu, and you will perform the following procedures in preparing the food and beverage service environment, which is setting tables, dressing tables, and napkin folding techniques. And also number 4, perform the proper procedure for taking table reservation. So before we will proceed to our specific topic, we will listen first to the ASEAN Master Trainer at the same time Assessor, Ma'am Noemi.
Welcome to Unit 2 of the Food and Beverage Service NC2, Introduction to Food and Beverage Service, where we will discuss the procedures for preparing the service area. The dining area is where the guests spend most of their time while in the restaurant. It is also where you do most of your duties as a food and beverage service staff. However, the dining area is only one aspect of the food and beverage service department. Aside from the dining area, the environment also includes other areas in the establishment, such as the waiting area, the waiter station, the comfort rooms, and others. As a food and beverage service staff, you are responsible for preparing all these areas to make the dining a pleasurable experience to guests. This unit will let you learn the necessary steps and checks to undertake when preparing for the upcoming service session. The types of menu and tableware will also be presented in this unit, together with the procedures for table setting, dressing the tables, and napkin folding techniques. This unit will also show you the procedures involved in processing incoming table reservation.
So now we are in lesson 1, checking the requirements of the upcoming service session. And we will have to focus more on the understanding the upcoming service session, which is the topic number 1. So before we will jump in on that particular topic, we will have an introduction first. The goal of food and beverage service staff is to provide efficient and well-delivered food and beverage service to the guests, as we have discussed in a previous lesson, which is the goal of the food and beverage department or services is to provide a higher quality service to the guests so that they will be satisfied and they will return to our establishment. To do this, we must prepare for the upcoming service session, taking into consideration its requirements. So planning is very important before we will undergo the upcoming service session. So we need to have a proper planning. We need to prepare all the requirements, all the materials needed. We need to set everything so that we will become ready with the upcoming service session so that we can provide the best service to the guest. Again, we will focus on the topic number 1, understanding the upcoming service session. And again, we will listen to the summary or bird's eye view of this topic number 1 by the ASEAN Master Trainer at the same time Assessor, Ma'am Noemi.
In order to provide a well-delivered food and beverage service, you must prepare for the upcoming service session. Here are some of the activities you have to undertake in order to understand the service before it even starts. Check the table reservation. One way of knowing the details of the upcoming session is to check the table reservations. Next, check for important information such as 1. Number and types of guests. 2. Name of guests or organization. 3. If there will be a private event or not. 4. Customers' arrival time to help identify rush times or when additional reservations can still be made. 5. Special requests and needs of guests such as wheelchairs, high chairs, or private locations. Consider the anticipated trade. Look at how much walk-in guests are expected to arrive. This may be influenced by any of the following factors. 1. Past information such as the trend of walk-in guests. 2. Events or local attractions located close to the premises. And 3. The weather. 4. Hotel occupancy. 5. Advertising and promotional steps undertaken such as media and newspaper, websites, social networking sites, and others. Arrival and treatment of VIPs. VIPs can be anyone from royalties, celebrities, executives, or guests staying in the executive suites. Knowing that a VIP guest will arrive affects the following aspects of service. 1. Level and standard of service. 2. The necessity for a private area. 3. Specialized dishes. And 4. Additional staff. Check for special service protocols or plans for the upcoming service. Most establishments have a set of guidelines and activities called service protocols. These guidelines are intended to be undertaken for regular operations and anticipated special situations. However, there are times when the establishment have to observe another service protocol to cater to the needs and preferences of the guests, such as changing the style of service, menus, and promotional approaches according to the event team. Limitations for service. There is a range of limitations that can have an impact on an upcoming session. These service limitations may include any of these following situations. 1. Repairs to equipment or sections of the establishment. 2. Staff limitations. And finally, equipment limitations.
Okay, so we'll proceed to understanding the upcoming service session. To be able to provide an efficient food service that will satisfy the guest, here are the activities that are commonly undertaken to help an F&B service staff anticipate and understand the upcoming service session. So here are the following as discussed by Ms. Noemi. First, again, to understand upcoming service session, here are the following important reminders. We need to check the table reservation. So in every food and beverage department or in the dining area, there is a records concerning about the table reservation. So before we will undergo on the service session or before upcoming service session, we need to check the table reservation. We need to review the names, the dates. For example, they have a special request. So we need to check the table reservation. It is very important. And also we need to consider the anticipated trade and also the arrival and treatment of the VIPs. For example, as we check the table reservation, there is a VIPs that is coming on the, example, different dates. We need to be more prepared because it is a VIPs. Maybe we need to provide additional staff for the support, or we need to provide additional things that we can present the high quality service to the VIP, very important person. And then we need to check for special service protocols or plans for the upcoming service. For example, there is an event on that particular date, so we need to prepare. So we need to check this special service because it also requires more efforts, requires more um, job or duties or work. So we need to check that because in order for us to be more prepared. And then limitations for service. So there are limitations for service. So we need to understand also about that. Next, checking the menu for the upcoming service session that will be discussed on the next online lecture. So we only have a short discussion in the topic 1, understanding the upcoming service session. So these are the following, and it is also well discussed by the ASEAN Master Trainer, Ma'am Naomi. Thank you, and don't forget to answer the evaluation quiz. Bye-bye.